Hey, what's going on, everybody? Sly. And man, I heard Kyle Shanahan talk about Jake Moody and his future. If you guys hadn't heard, check this out real quick. Oh man, I got a lot to say. Check it out.
I mean, I still feel the same about him, that I believe he's going to be our guy. I mean, everyone's got to perform and do things like that, and I think he has had a tough year. I think before his high ankle sprain, I think he was like missed one. I think he was 12 or 13 before that, so I thought he was doing really well, and then had a high ankle sprain to his kicking foot. Since he's come back, he hasn't been as consistent, obviously. Um, but I think a lot of that probably has to do with that, just common sense wise. And hopefully he can get to the soft season, heal up, and find his stroke again, and play at a high level that I think he will, because he's real talented. I think he's made of the right stuff just from a mental standpoint and everything. And I think he has all the tools to be a great kicker in this league. He's still working to find that, though.
Is there something to be said for being pushed in training camp for kickers to have that kind of daily competition where every kick there's something riding on it?
I don't know. Maybe. I mean, I think you got the wrong guy if you have to. I mean, you do that when you don't think you're going to have a guy, but when those guys miss too much, you go get a new one usually. And that's what's tough about the kicker position. I mean, that's what's tough. I remember we were in Washington, and we had a young kicker who missed a number of kicks, but I didn't have much experience with kicking then. I remember kept telling the head coach that he's cost us 2 games. Like, when are we going to move on from this guy? And he kept telling me how talented he was. You got to be patient. But then he lost us a third game, and then the head coach had to make a move. But 2 years later, that guy was the highest paid kicker in the league and going to Pro Bowls. So he was right. We had to be patient, but how long can you do it? And so I think that's just what's tough with that position. There's no backups and stuff like that. So that's what the challenge is. But I believe we got the right guy. And I think that eventually, I think he has shown that at times. I thought he showed that at times his rookie year. I thought he showed that big time, being 12 out of 13 to start this year. And I think he'll show us all that in the future.
So first of all, for the people that said leave his ass in Miami after missing that field goal, you don't want to do that, man. He'll have the time of his life in Miami, baby.
Here I am in the place where I come let go. In Miami, the base and the sunset low.
We got to do it. If it was in Cleveland or something, then leave his ass there. But hearing this about Kyle Shanahan, not shocked at all. I mean, when people were calling for Jake Moody's head, in my opinion, I was saying that too. However, I was like, we're going to freaking keep this dude. Like, I know Kyle Shanahan. I know what he's about. I know what happened all year long with Jake Brendel, guys like Campbell, Jair Brown, these dudes that should have been benched. All of them just benched because they were just playing horrible. What happened? None of them were benched at all. They were still there. And I was like, bro, same exact thing with Jake Moody, man. When he's going to come back next year, and they're going to say there's going to be a competition, just like the first 2 years, but there's going to be no competition. Jake Moody's going to be our kicker next year. And I don't get it, man. I just don't. First of all, I don't get why we didn't re-sign Robbie Gould to begin with. I know he's older, but we still could have got 2 years out of him. He could have been a kicker this year. He would not have missed that kick against the Rams. If he makes that damn kick, we win that game the first time we played him. I think it was week 3. That, I think, changed everything. Obviously Ronnie Bell dropping that ball caused us, but dude, Jake Moody's missed some big ass kicks for us, man. That game against Cleveland last year, thank goodness that didn't cost us. Where Brock Purdy drove down the field, and dude just missed it. Like, under pressure, can you make him, man? And so far, it just seems like he hasn't, man. He hasn't been able to do it. And Kyle Shanahan looks like he's going to stick with them. Like, he's going to stick with this guy. And I'm just like, oh, man, I'm in awe, man. Like, why is Kyle, like, so loyal to these guys? Like, where he just waits and waits and waits. If Devondre Campbell doesn't say he's not going to play, his ass would still be on the team. And Dre Greenlaw goes out, he would have been playing all season, man. And even though we should have had other dudes out there playing, D. Winters should have been the starter next to Fred Warner all year long. Drake Nugent should have had at least a few snaps to see what he is at center. Just time and time again, we have the same freaking players all year long. When they're playing horrible, it doesn't matter, man. They're going to continue to start. I don't get that. The only position probably where Kyle, he's kind of gets trigger happy, I guess, is quarterback. Other than that, man, like, he just keeps these same dudes, and I don't get it, man. I don't get it. Like, it's funny too, because when we drafted Jake Moody, I remember I was with Flo. Flo could attest to this. I always said, dude, like it was day 2, I believe, and I was like, dude, we're gonna draft Jake Moody in the 3rd round. He looked at me like, what? Like, why would we draft a kicker? Like, I don't know. I don't agree with it, but I just have a feeling this regime will draft a kicker in the 3rd round because a few years before that, we drafted a punter in the 4th round. I mean, that's what's costing us right now. All these stupid ass draft picks missing, picking specialists. You could have found a dude on the street. This offseason, I made a damn video talking about we need to go out and get that undrafted free agent. I forgot the hell his name, but I made a video about it. The Lions pick him up. He's one of the better kickers in the league, dude. He was freaking playing for the UCFL. He was playing for UCFL, and now all of a sudden he's one of the solid ass kickers. Dude, you could have found him off the damn street, bro. So, man, I don't know, man. Like, thank goodness that we've made these deep runs in the playoffs, because if we didn't, man, it would have been a horrible regime, you know. But, you know, we made 4 NFC championship games. But, man, we could have just continued this winning streak if we would have made the right moves, you know, especially 3rd round, man. And, you know, 3rd round, we've been missing on those damn comp picks we get for, you know, the minority hires. None of them have panned out. You know, from who do we get 3rd round? I know Danny Gray was one of the dudes that we picked. Was Jake Moody one of the ones too? One of our comp picks that we got for that minority hire? I mean, man, I don't understand it, man. I don't understand it, but I hope at least Kyle, at least he does this, has an actual competition at kicker. Like, competition is good, man. That's why I love Jim Harbaugh so much. He made decisions that kind of shocked people, but he didn't give a damn. He one of the best players. I loved it when he had Alden Smith playing. I loved it when he had Alden Smith playing as a rookie, because it's like, dude, he's better than Paris Harrison. God rest his soul. But he had him out there. Like, I'm going to play you. I don't care. I know Vic Fangio, who I love, by the way, said, no, I want Paris starting, you know. But Harbaugh's like, hell no, dude. I'm going to have the best players get playing, no matter what. So hopefully Kyle could grow from this, man. And hopefully he just learns, you know, and just not all in his playbook, where he's watching these players individually too. Like, okay, we got to make a change. Or if John Lynch too, like, he's the GM. He should have meetings with Kyle and be like, bro, Jake Brando is ranked 34th in the NFL as a center. Maybe we should try one of these young guys, you know. Or Jacob Cowing. He had one great game against KC, and after that, no, you're back to returning punts only. I mean, John Lynch got to step it up too. He's got to go up and be like, dude, we have to play these guys. Like, we have to. I don't care, man. We're playing these young cats. Tyler Bethune, coming off injury. He's on the 21-day practice window. If he's able to play, start his ass. Start his ass as a 3rd linebacker. We do not need to see no Flanagan fouls anymore these last 2 games. Let's see what we have. He's a 7th round pick, I get it. But Brock Purdy was a 7th round pick, and he turned out pretty good for us. Like, play these young cats, man. I want to see all these young guys playing these next 2 weeks. See what we have, man. I do not like this stuff where there's no competition out there, and guys like Jake Moody gets a free ride, you know. That first year with Jake Moody, who was our other kicker? Zane Gonzalez. We traded for Zane Gonzalez. He didn't miss one damn kick in OTA's minicamp, training camp, preseason. And there was no competition. Because why? Because we got Jake Moody as a 3rd round pick, and he was safe. Last year, he was safe. Next year, the way we're talking, the way Kyle Shanahan's talking, I believe it, because he's done this in the past. He's gonna be our kicker next year, and he better not cost us games. That's all I gotta say. He better not cost us games, because that's his 3rd year, man. You gotta move on. There's kickers out there. You can find them anywhere, except in Santa Cruz County. But that's all I got, man. All right, man. Let me know what you guys think. If Jake Moody is the answer, if you agree with what Kyle said. Let me know down below. Talk to you next time. Peace.